Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Lady, I don't live here and I didn't call you. This just happened. I'm over at my parents' place and on my laptop when the house phone rings. My dad gets it and I hear a conversation that goes something like this. Who's this? You called us. No, you called us. No, you called us. No one from here called you. He then hangs up. I was half listening and half working on some code at the time, so I asked him what that was about. He said some lady was insistent that someone from here had called her and she was demanding to know who and why. He was more bewildered than anything at this lady's instance, and a bit annoyed. I told him a telemarketer probably called her and spoofed our number. I shrugged the call off and went back to coding. I thought that it was the end of it until the phone rang again about 2 minutes later. He saw the caller ID, said private caller, and gave it to me and said, "Here, you take it, you have all the answers." I took the phone and started the call. Hello? That was very rude of you to hang up on me while I was talking to you. I've never spoken to you before. Well, whoever I was talking to, you are very rude. Why did you call me? No one here called you. I think what probably happened is a telemarketer called you and spoofed our number, and... Don't you return phone calls? I get 100 calls per day. I don't have time to spend my time returning all of these. Who called me from here? Lady, again, no one here called you. You were talking to my dad earlier and he already told you. The lady starts ranting more or less of the same, getting louder and louder. Me, finally losing my patience. Lady, no one here called you, but I can see why my dad hung up on you, because you're very annoying. I then hang up. Jesus, I could hear the "I want to speak to your manager" vibe in her voice, and was 99% sure her name was actually Karen. Too bad for her this isn't a store and I have no problem hanging up on her. If she's too stupid to believe no one called her and expects a more satisfactory answer, she's in for a world of disappointment. Is it actually illegal for telemarketers to spoof numbers like that? Surely that's gotta be illegal in some way. I don't work here because the place is closed. A close friend of mine used to run a motorcycle junkyard and repair shop. His father started the business. They were active for a really long time. Their family owns the land, and my friend lives in a mobile home on the property the shop/yard was at. But eventually there came a point, between eBay and other online stuff, where it was costing just about as much to keep the business open as they were making. So my friend shut the place down and sold off the entire collection from the backyard in one lot. I needed shop space. The repair bay wasn't being used anymore, so I asked if I could rent the shop space. We talked it over with his mum, who is the legal owner of the land and building, and came to an agreement as to terms regarding rent and utilities. I and my shop partner moved in. There is a sign in the front window next to the side door that leads to the shop bay, which states former shop name is no longer in business as of this date. For the first year or two, it was kind of funny, if a bit aggravating. People would stop by nearly every day, park directly in front of the clearly visible sign, come into the shop where E or I was working, and ask if we had a part for whatever motorcycle. In fact, someone came by today and did the exact same thing. It's no longer amusing. On the 31st of October this year, the shop will have been closed for 6 years. That's right, the sign clearly states that the shop has been out of business since October 31st, 2013. No dude, as a matter of fact, I don't have just that one little part for whatever Honda you have. No, I won't go check, because the bike shop is gone, kaput, it's an ex-shop. They don't stop by every day any longer at least, but still, the shop has been closed for nearly 6 years. It's not in the phone book or the online phone directories, it's not even on Google Maps anymore, and they always park right in front of the sign. Facepalm. I can maybe understand like old people that used to go there 10 years ago, 20 years ago or whatever, and that they're like coming back to say, oh, I could maybe get a part from there. But if they're new people that just don't read the sign, then I can understand why it would be annoying. Sorry, I don't know where the fish seasoning is. Short and sweet. I had just gotten off work at my serving job and stopped at a Publix, which is a chain grocery store, for some dinner. My uniform was a blue button-up and red apron. The Publix uniform is green aprons and polos. So I'm on the phone with my sister walking through the aisles when I notice a lady staring directly into my soul, with her arms crossed and tapping her foot. I kinda lowered my phone and looked at her, and she walked over to me. Finally! Where is the fish seasoning? Oh, I don't actually know, I'm sorry. What do you mean you don't know? Well, I'm not sure where it's at. Maybe over in that aisle? I point to an aisle. Seriously, I was just in that aisle. You need to show me where it is. And it's seriously so rude to talk on the phone like that. Very unprofessional. At this point, I stop an actual employee who was walking by. Yes, ma'am, can I help you? Yeah, she's looking for fish seasoning. Yeah, and I asked your employee, but she was too busy talking on the phone to help. I'd really like to speak with a manager because it's poor customer service to be chatting on the phone while at work. She doesn't work here. What? Yeah, I work at this place. Well, it's still rude to talk on your phone like that. I had to wait for you to finish your conversation before asking for help. Next time, you should be aware of your surroundings. Just because you don't work here doesn't mean you can't help me. Not as crazy as others, but still blew my mind. Actually, I've got to disagree with that lady right there because I think not working there gives you the perfect right to just ignore everyone else. Like, I don't want to speak to you, I'm not going to speak to you. I don't work here, but my doppelganger does. Usually I just read, but while sorting some clothes, I remembered a story from a few years back. I am a regular shopper at this store chain, and my closet is full of clothes from there. I normally wear black basic and a sweater or something on top. So one fateful day, I am on vacation in another city far from home, and got to the store to buy some new tops. OP is me, SM is store manager, and OP2 is my doppelganger. OP2, what are you doing? Get back to the men's section and stock up those pants. I continue looking. The store manager grabs my shoulder to turn me around. Are you ignoring me? What's with that attitude? Back to the men's section and stock up those pants. Me, an extremely emotional and sensitive person, stares in shock and starts crying. What? What? Oh, don't you start crying, that doesn't work on me. Me, trying to hold back the tears and speak, but I'm not OP2, I don't At this point, people are looking and whispering. Of course, yeah, stop pulling this BS on me and get back to what? Enters OP2. Store manager, I'm done with the rest, what are you doing? OP2 looks at store manager, then looks at me. I look at OP2, the store manager looking from me to OP2 to me. Not only did OP2 and me look very similar, we could have been twins, except I have birthmarks on my face and she didn't. But we also coincidentally wore the same set of clothes, except the shoes. Store manager unhanded me and apologized. OP2 started working there not long ago, so she didn't recognize the small differences. I calmed down a bit and just left. Later at the food corner of the mall the store was in, I met OP2 again. She apologized again for store manager's behavior and told me people already complained about him and that's why he wasn't really popular around the other employees either. We exchanged contact info and saw each other a few times after, but sadly we drifted apart. But yeah, that wraps up the story of how I had my very first I don't work here story and found my doppelganger. Aside from like the harassment from the manager, that must have been pretty cool to find someone who looks exactly like you. Why do all jobs require polos? About 10 years ago, I worked at a fast food chain. Since I was making minimum wage, Dollar Tree was a frequent shopping stop of mine. One night, I was doing some shopping after getting off work. I still had on my blue polo, with a big old logo on the sleeve, and black work pants and was covered in grease. Definitely not the green polo and khaki pants of the Dollar Tree uniform. I was in the hygiene aisle when I hear a voice a bit further down asking me where something was. I looked up to see a lady with an expectant expression on her face. I told her, I honestly don't know. She gave me a wide-eyed scrunched lip look. Well, if you don't know, maybe we should talk to your manager. I rolled my eyes at her. You can try, but he's busy at work right now. I walked past her, pointing to the logo on my sleeve. I like that response, not giving her time to like argue back because she probably would have gone, well, you could help me anyway or something like that, just walking past and she's just left there. I don't work, sir. I had just gotten off work from a dollar store and decided to head to Walmart to buy a few stuff with my mum. While at Walmart, I tend to walk off without my mum knowing, since I can easily call her to find out where she is in the store. I venture off to the electronics section, grab what I need, then head back to my mum. Here is where the interaction starts. Just to tell you, my job uniform is a green shirt with black or khaki pants. I was wearing black pants. As everyone knows, Walmart employees wear a blue vest. I was not dressed as a Walmart employee. While heading to my mum, I ran into the couple. The husband speaks up. Excuse me, miss, do you know where the blinds are? My mind draws a blank for a second. I quickly start to talk. I don't work here, sir. You know, the window blinds. I don't... Wife interrupts me, but wasn't rude about it. She doesn't work here. The husband realizes my uniform doesn't match Walmart's. Oh, I'm sorry. You look so professional. It's okay, don't worry. And then we walk off in different directions. I was figuring why they would think I work here, so I looked down at my shirt. Lo and behold, I'm still wearing my name tag. I mentally facepalm and take it off. I laugh at my stupidity for not taking it off like I usually do. I eventually found my mum and tell her what happens. She laughs with me. I'm pretty thankful it wasn't a rude Karen. If it was, I would have probably broke down crying, hoping for my mum to come and save me. I'm not good with confrontation at all. At least they weren't rude about it in any way, at least they were wholesome about it. Not Santa, just a customer. This happened last December. My husband and I had gone to the Blue Megastore to look around for some gifts for our nieces and nephews. We had our kids with us, so we decided to split up. He would take our kids over to play with / look at the PJ Masks toys while I scoured the arts and crafts aisle for my niece. I'm dressed fairly casually, though I can see why this guy mistook me. I was wearing khaki pants, a black undershirt and a short sleeve bright blue shirt that had Toothless wrapped up in fairy lights around the front of it. I was also sporting a Santa hat that said Merry Christmas on it. The store's uniform has casual pants and bright blue vests, and since this guy approached me from behind, it's understandable. As I'm looking at the craft sets, I hear some guy behind me go, "Hey, Santa!" I'd forgotten I was wearing the hat, so I didn't look around, but I picked up the box I was considering to see what was included. Excuse me, Santa?" Confused now, I look around and spotted the guy, who was in his mid-40s and staring right at me. "Hi, sorry, I was wondering if you could tell me where the Paw Patrol toys are." I turn fully to face him. "Oh, sure, they're just..." The guy has taken a couple seconds to look at my shirt, my pentagram necklace, and interrupts me. "Oh, you don't work here, do you?" I laugh a little. "No, but I do know where the Paw Patrol stuff is. My kids are playing over there." Having decided against the craft box, I put it back. "Here, I'll show you." We made some small talk as I walked him over and collected my kids and husband so we could move on. We wished each other a happy Christmas and parted ways. And another nice wholesome one just to finish things off. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.